Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff I've Never Told You, production of iHeartRadio. Quick content warning on this one. Very brief mention of sexual assaults. We're really not going to go into it at all, but just to put that out there so that you are aware. So as this comes out, it has just been Disney Plus Day. All this stuff happened on Disney Plus. All these announcements are made. Trailers are coming out. But also, the new series Hawkeye is set to debut tomorrow, November 24th, 2021, which again, I have no idea when you're listening to this. But as of now, that's how it's supposed to be.
Fair.
And it stars Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye and Haley Steinfeld as his protege, Kate Bishop, who I totally forgot voiced Spider-Gwen in Into the Spider-Verse. So that's more multiverse confusion that Spider-Man is adding into all of this. Because Catherine Hahn was in WandaVision.
Right. But I feel like with the animated, it's a little different, so they can they can have other actors portray these, and it wouldn't be such a big shock.
It's true, but now the multiverse Spider-Man No Way Home trailer is supposed to come out today, and I don't know why people are tweeting about it so much when it's not out yet. But I know that there's multiverse stuff in there as well.
But it doesn't necessarily have Haley Steinfeld.
Maybe. No, but it's got like Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, I think.
Right.
Willem Dafoe is in there. I think maybe the other Spider-Mans are in there.
Right,
We'll
but
see.
we're not necessarily going to see the animated version in there, are we? Do we see Miles?
It's trending on Twitter, but I never click on what's trending on Twitter, so I never know why it's trending.
Don't click.
That's my kind of rule. It just gives me kind of a like, this is what's happening. I hope it's not terrible.
Fair.
Yes. The show also features the Native American deaf actress Alaqua Cox as Maya Lopez, a.k.a. the deaf hero Echo, who is getting her own spinoff series. And I'm excited to return in a future episode to talk about her after that show comes out. I'm not sure when it's coming out. It is interesting to talk about something before it's come out, because who knows? Hopefully this is good, but it could be terrible. Right. But in preparation for this show, we're going to focus on Kate Bishop, primarily her appearances in the comics and the recent Avengers video game. If you want to go in not knowing anything, because I know I have some friends like that, skip this one and come back later. You can't skip it though, Samantha. You have to listen.
I'll be back.
I guess you could. You just put in like ear canceling headphones.
Just look away.
This is just a solo Anney episode. Samantha didn't want to be so wild. So some history, and it's very condensed because, yes, a lot happens in these comics, y'all. A lot. So Catherine Kate Bishop was first introduced in 2005 in Young Avengers #1, created by Alan Heinberg and Jim Chung. And she was pretty well received, especially, unfortunately, for women. A female character in these comics. And now she's a fan favorite. She got a solo comic in 2016. She has appeared in several comics and video games. And now the new show, I'm assuming beyond. She's really fun to play in the Avengers video game. You can do some cool teleporting things with her arrows.
Does she have powers? Are we about to find out? Okay, keep going. Stop, keep going.
It was, I waited,
Yes, I know.
It's complicated, but essentially no. There's also a new 5-part comic series coming out called Hawkeye Kate Bishop, written by Marieke Nijkamp, illustrated by Enid Balam, with cover illustration by Janoy Lindsay. And I hope that I am pronouncing those correctly.
Kate's the youngest daughter of a rich family living in Manhattan. They're all rich. Why are they all rich? There seems to be really extremes here.
Yeah, she's got $4 gadgets.
I guess so. And her mother died at a young age. Of course, someone has to die. So Kate grew up often feeling pretty lonely. In part because of this, she developed a really independent, stubborn personality and is absolutely determined to help people. That's good. That's different. She spends a lot of her free time at soup kitchens and women's shelters. Good on her.
Yes.
This fictional character.
Yes, good on you, fictional Kate Bishop. As a child, she witnesses some suspicious interactions of her father with some other people, and she follows him one night where he meets up with criminal El Matador. Kate gets captured with the intent of being ransomed, unbeknownst to her father. He misses this whole thing. But she manages to escape, helped along by the timely arrival of the Avengers. She is especially impressed with the archer Hawkeye, who has no superpowers, and he becomes her role model. After experiencing a sexual assault, Kate grows more isolated and traumatized and decides to learn several forms of self-defense and combat. She becomes proficient in martial arts, swords, and archery. She goes to therapy as well.
Nice.
Yeah. While at her sister's huge 200-person wedding, she encounters the Young Avengers who attempt to save her and the other guests. However, they accidentally set a fire and get taken hostage themselves. Kate manages to free the Young Avengers with a throwing star, and they flee the scene before the police arrive.
Well, why wasn't any super guardian Avenger there? Where's the Guardians here? Later, Ant-Man's daughter, Cassie Lane, catches up with Kate. So I'm guessing she's a Young Avenger as well.
Yes.
And together, they track down the Young Avengers where they are hiding out at the destroyed Avengers mansion. Didn't the Avengers Center get built back up? I don't understand. I thought, after the collapse, where were they the whole time then?
Well,
or after the snap, not the clap.
Don't mix
Some
it up with the
people
clap.
can't snap.
It's true. Or getting off topic here.
Sorry.
I think that in this, how to condense this? It's different than in the movies. We'll just say that.
Okay.
We'll just say that.
Okay, so maybe it'll be different then. All right, I was just very confused. So Kate and Cassie basically say we're on a team now. Yeah, we're on the team. Hello. Soon after that, Kang the Conqueror attacks the mansions. Kate grabs some items around the mansions to assemble her superhero outfit, including one of Hawkeye's bow. Together, the Young Avengers save the world, and Kate and Cassie are made permanent members. Nice.
Yes. And by the way, the twins Wanda gave birth to in WandaVision, they are members of the Young Avengers in the comics. Who knows what they'll do here? It does feel like they're introducing all the Young Avengers because also Kid Loki was a Young Avenger. Isaiah Bradley's grandson is Patriot, a Young Avenger who was introduced in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So they're setting up a lot of stuff, though, so who knows? All right, though. Captain America / Steve Rogers and Iron Man / Tony Stark don't like what the Young Avengers are up to and order them to break up and call it off. So Kate uses some of her family's money to get them a new headquarters, along with weapons, uniforms, and the whole endeavor is led by her and Patriot. However, Kate discovers that in order to get super soldier abilities, Patriot have been taking the mutant growth hormone, and this is something that really tests their friendship. Patriot gets hurt, and Kate calls out Captain America, blaming him for not giving them the proper training. Impressed, Captain America sends Jessica Jones to deliver Hawkeye's original bow and arrows, along with a note asking her to take on the Hawkeye code name. Apparently, Clint / Hawkeye has been one of the few to call him out like Kate had, and Kate accepts. After the events of Civil War in the comics, which are very different than what happens in the movies, I will say.
So most of this is going to be different in the show.
I would guess. I'm sure they'll have pieces of it, like from the trailer alone, I'm like, okay, I see this storyline, I see this storyline. But in the comics, Civil War was very, very different. I'm pretty sure Captain America dies, Clint dies, and then is resurrected by Wanda. There's a whole thing. But anyway, okay. Kate accidentally gives Clint a dressing down because he's wearing Captain America's uniform and carrying his shield. By the way, at Tony Stark's request, who may or may not have had him assassinated. And also Steve Rogers wanted Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, to be Captain America. And Clint had just been resurrected from the dead by Scarlet Witch, who rewrote the reality. Like I said, a lot happens in these comics. And Kate says she took on the Hawkeye mantle to honor Hawkeye, not disrespect his memory, which is what she feels Clint, Captain America, is doing. Clint decides to go his own way after that. But the pair encounter again soon after. Clint as his alter ego, Ronin, and they fight because Clint is testing if she's worthy for the Hawkeye mantle, and eventually he officially passes it on to her.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Ronin?
No. Ronin, the kind of dark Hawkeye that was in Avengers Infinity War. Remember in Black Widow had to go find him and he was like killing people?
Oh, when he got his mind altered?
No. When he kind of...
No. When he was like, because he lost his family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Why would they use the same name?
Oh, well, I mean, that's not even the most confusing same name situation that's going on in here, I'll tell you.
All right, so let's move on. So they all go on to team up to fight street-level crime in New York. They take on a notorious group of circus performers, rescue a kidnapped girl, and Kate extracts a captured Clint in Madripoor. Clint reveals that he'd given her his bow because the mafia was threatening him. She returns the bow and tells him he should stop running from his problems. Very good advice. Kate and Clint spend some time chasing some threats through the multiverse. Oh, okay. At one point, Superstorm Sandy is a plot point where Kate is helping people who are stranded. Nice. Kate goes through several heartbreaks. She's a young teen. She tries to tell Clint the significance of their partnership in her life, but he's asleep. They do this a lot too. She grows frustrated with the choices he's making and goes to LA, only to realize her father has cut her off. Ruh-roh. To make money, she offers her services as, quote, half superhero, half private eye, and starts working some cases. So is she going to join up with Jessica Jones? Through this, she learns more about her father's misdeeds and a threat to Clint's life, so she returns to New York.
Yes. So Clint and her kind of make up and they start going on missions together again. But after a disagreement around children who had been experimented on, Kate wanted to save them. Clint argued that they were weapons. Their relationship was once again strained. And Team Hawkeye, as they sometimes were called, because there were two Hawkeyes existing at once, took a break. And Kate went on to operate on her own for a while, avoiding attachments and sort of isolating herself. Clint tries to make things up to her by rescuing the kids and tells Kate that she is his best friend. And she tells him he is still her hero. And then there's more multiverse time travel stuff, legal drama after Clint is put on trial and acquitted for the Hulk's murder, causing the media to focus on the, quote, other Hawkeye, Kate, wondering if she is destined for violence. She struggles with guilt for what happened and anger at Clint for keeping secrets from her. She moves back to LA and starts up a detective agency, Hawkeye Investigations. Woo! So that's a very condensed, as you can probably tell, history of this character so far. One of the big things about her is she doesn't have superpowers. And here's a quote: "I have no powers and not nearly enough training, but I'm doing this anyway. Being a superhero is amazing. Everyone should try it." She's smart, she's strong, she's fast, she's proficient in a lot of combat styles. One of the world's best known archers. She has a strong sense of right and wrong, and she usually comes down on the side of protecting people's rights in this superhero world. And she can play the cello. It's also a running joke that she doesn't really have a code name, or that's kind of confusing. Once Clint Barton returns and they're both using the same code name, she's been called Task Mistress because her reflexes and memory are so good. She's like the taskmaster. Hawkingbird for her mashup of costumes. Bishop, Nitrous, Hawkette, Lady Hawkman, Lady Hawkeye, Hawkess. There's a bunch of them. I do think it's interesting that there is this plotline of sexual trauma in this one, which she only shares with her therapist and Jessica Jones. And also there are a string of one-night stands and hookups, and she finds Bucky Barnes attractive. I just thought that was interesting. But she also has some strong friendships with women. I think one of the reasons that all of this stood out is because a lot of what I read growing up, it didn't have this kind of stuff, and if it did, it was told from the male perspective and definitely used as much more of like a plot point to further along the male storyline. So just interesting. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Is she going to join the Contessa's Mirror Avengers team? Because I hear Florence Pugh's Yelena is going to show up in this Hawkeye show, which is interesting due to what she believes about Hawkeye's involvement in Black Widow's death. Are they setting up Young Avengers? Cassie Lang has just been recast, presumably for her bigger role. There's also the West Coast Avengers, which is a thing. And yes, also Disney Plus, so your role. There's too much. There's too many new shows.
Because I was going to say, the girl who's, I think, supposedly been recast for Cassie Lang is the girl from Supernatural. If I remember correctly. And yeah, I thought the whole push of the end credit scene was so that they had the whole plot line end credit scene from Black Widow was so they had a beginning plot line for Hawkeye.
That's what I thought too. But we could be wrong. But if she's showing up, then that makes me think that it's at least going to be something to do with that.
Because now she's the Black Widow. That's what I heard.
Essentially. Again, it depends on which way they go, but she's definitely like the mirror Black Widow or the, quote, new Black Widow. But there are many, many options and many paths for them to choose. And we will see which one they go with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So hopefully it's good. Maybe we'll have more thoughts and we'll return to it after we watch it. In the meantime, listeners, we always love hearing from you. If you would like to email us, you can. Our email is stuffmediamomstuff@iheartmedia.com. You can find us on Twitter at momstuffpodcast or on Instagram at Stuff I've Never Told You. Thanks as always to our super producer, Christina.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff I've Never Told You is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.